I'm Kelly McCall. I'm the Director of Public Relations for UPMC Pinnacle. And on behalf of UPMC Pinnacle, thank you for joining us today. This is the culmination of a lot of hard work by our emergency department nursing team, who last summer decided to take on a project of service to support our Harrisburg Police Department. And as you can see, the equipment has arrived, and we're going to talk about that today and share some of the work that went into bringing this all to fruition. And so at this time, I welcome the Honorable Mayor Eric Poppenfuss to say a few words.
Great. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Harrisburg City Hall. We are truly fortunate in our city to have as our largest private employer an institution which cares so deeply about the health and welfare and safety of our residents. This is a true story, but when I first took office, now a little more than 5 years ago, I was visited by the then Pinnacle Health leaders, and they asked me what could they do to assist the city? How could they help the city with its financial recovery, and what could they do to contribute to all the activities which exist in Harrisburg on a monthly and yearly basis? They not only dramatically increased their pilot payment, but they put aside tens of thousands of dollars a year to help sponsor health and wellness programs throughout the community. This was a tremendous thing which UPMC Pinnacle did, and it's paid amazing benefits. And even today, with the announcement that we're seeing here with the equipment, or with the sponsorship of our upcoming Ice and Fire Festival on March 2nd, Pinnacle Health has said, UPMC Pinnacle has stepped up and said, how can they make Harrisburg better and safer? So I want to thank them for that. Last year, in the aftermath of the tragic death of U.S. Marshal Christopher Hill, it became clear that there were things that we needed to do in terms of modernizing our safety equipment, protecting our officers, and the Emergency Services Division at Pinnacle Health wasted no time. They saw the need, and there was a special bond, clearly a special bond between the nurses that you see here today and the police officers, probably because our first responders and our emergency services folks are on the front lines every day. They see the tragic effects of gun violence in our community, and they wanted to make a difference. They wanted to help make things safer. So they banded together and raised an extraordinary amount of money, allowing us to buy this much-needed equipment, which you'll see here today. Again, I want to thank UPMC Pinnacle. I also want to thank the Body Armor Megastore in Pennsylvania, which also chipped in and donated additional body armor vest sets. It's a truly wonderful thing, and I am deeply appreciative on behalf of the residents of the city of Harrisburg. So with that, I'd like to hand the program back to UPMC Pinnacle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And we too appreciate the strong partnership we have with the city and all we're able to do to make this community a better place for everybody to live a healthy and safe life. So at this time, to learn more about the nursing initiative behind this, I'm going to introduce Kathy Flynn. She's our Director of Emergency Services Nursing at UPMC Pinnacle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Flynn. I'm the Nursing Director for Emergency Services at UPMC Pinnacle. I'm honored to stand before you today, as well as support and recognize the men and women in our Harrisburg Police Department. Without their bravery and dedicated service, our community would be more vulnerable to the disorder which is so prevalent in today's world. Nurses do have a lot in common with law enforcement. We are both committed to ensuring the well-being of others. Those of us in the emergency department and hospitals across the country bear witness to violence and tragedy too often. Every day we stand on the front line of uncertainty, saving lives and protecting the vulnerable. Too often we are too the target of aggression and violence. As well, this is a common scenario for police officers whose own training helps to prepare them against violence. Still, tragedies occur, and last January, as officers served a warrant in Harrisburg, a U.S. Marshal was killed in the line of duty. As UPMC Pinnacle ED nurses, we are as invested in preventing illness and injury as we are in helping to heal. When our nurses realized that the Harrisburg Police Department did not have enough life-saving ballistic vests for all police officers, they quickly sprang into action. The nurses decided it was our turn to help protect and serve those who risk their lives for all of us, and so 3.2 to Protect the Blue was born. In an effort to raise money to purchase life-saving equipment for the Harrisburg Police Department, our team of nurses organized a 5K in June of last year, attracting more than 500 participants and raising more than $20,000. Along with additional funds that were contributed by the Pinnacle Health Foundation and Body Armor Megastore, we were able to purchase 40 Body Armor Level 3 ballistic vests with steel plates, liners, and pads, 20 additional steel plates, and 60 helmets that were presented to the Harrisburg City Police. It was another way for those of us at UPMC Pinnacle to say thank you and help save the lives of those in uniform before an emergency brings them through our hospital doors. The Body Armor Megastore also donated an additional vest to be kept in the Harrisburg Hospital ED that can be worn by the officers who provide coverage in the emergency department. There are so many people who made this event successful, but I would like to highlight a few special people, for without their dedication, creativity, tenaciousness, and determination, this event would not have happened. Nicole Gouch, who's our nurse manager of the Harrisburg Police, the Emergency Department, was instrumental in planning this event. Christina Bath, one of our nurse leaders as well in the ED, contributed a huge amount of time and effort into this event. Heather Schaefer, Steph Miller, April Shutterly, Anna Lantz, Nicole DeValley, Mary Jane Laughlin, Melissa Salter, Kaylee Minter, Alex Seeger. These are just a few of the nurses who really dedicated a great deal of time and effort to make this event come to life. UPMC Pinnacle is proud of the longstanding relationship we've had with the Harrisburg PD. The reliability, availability, and mutual support helps us to do our jobs better and in a safer environment, which in turn helps every member of this community who seeks our care. Together we share a common goal, keeping our city, our patients, and surrounding areas safe while allowing people to live their best lives. I expect this partnership will continue, and I would ask everyone to consider supporting law enforcement in whatever way they can. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Commissioner Tom Carter and Deputy Chief Derek Moody.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a very special day because it's a game changer for us. If I just take you back years ago when I was a officer here running these streets and out there doing my police job. I was up in our criminal section, and when we had a homicide, back then over 30 years ago, we thought that we had the proper vest on, that would stop bullets and would save our lives. But, through time, everything's changed. And that's when we used to run up to a door and kick a door in, drag a bad guy out, having no idea of what danger waited for us behind that door. And I have since realized that we did not have the proper body armor on. So when I first heard about the initiative that Pinnacle Health was going to do, I figured that they would get us 10 bulletproof vests, helmets, and plates. I had no idea of the hard work, the fantastic effort, the dedication, the love that these people back here showed my officers. And they are all special, and I really thank you all. But what really makes Pinnacle Health special and the employees of Pinnacle Health special is that not only did they show my officers concern, but I witnessed a lot of gunshot victims down there, and they cared about everybody that they ever took care of. Every person, no one in the city got less treatment because you weren't a police officer or anything like that. It just amazed me to see the dedication, the caring, and the love that these people showed here. So what I want to do right now is to just clap for them. Thank you. I also want to thank the Body Armor Megastore for donating the extra vests. This is an important day for us, and next week you're going to see why this is an important day, because we're going to have a lot of the weapons, the AK-47s, the AR-15s, and the big guns that we have taken off the street, and so we're going to sort of work backwards from here. But again, UPMC, I honestly and sincerely appreciate you, and thank you.
Did you want us to do everything now? Okay. So what we have is, we're going to pause real quick. We have a plaque that we would like to present to UPMC Pinnacle for all of the dedicated service that they have done to our community and for the love that they have shown our officers and everyone that actually comes into the city. So just a little token of our appreciation. They went all out. We did what we could do to kind of match that. Obviously, it's a little difference, but from our hearts to yours, we'd like to present to you a plaque, basically that states, to UPMC Pinnacle Health, Harrisburg campus, in grateful appreciation for your many years of support to the Harrisburg Bureau of Police, we have this plaque to present to you. So on behalf of a very thankful department, please accept this from us. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn this over to Sergeant Tom McGarity. He was the police side of this initiative that kind of spearheaded and selected what type of ballistic capabilities we were looking for, what we were going to do. We have him here present today. Bear with him a little bit if he gets a little droopy. He just got off shift. He's a midnight shift officer, so he did get dressed up really pretty for you guys so that he could do this presentation. But with that, Sergeant Tom McGarity.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give you a quick overview of some of the equipment we received here. Before I do that, I just wanted to say thank you to the Pinnacle staff. This would not have happened without you guys. It's tremendous, so thank you. If you take a look, again, we have several variants of the gear purchased. On the end there, you see the plate carriers with the plates inserted. In the middle center of the table here, you have the ballistic helmets. And then underneath the padding here, this is the ballistic plate that goes inside. The thought process behind this is we're kind of adapting to our environment, being more ready for the threats we face every day. If you look to my left here, you see Officer Flynn and Officer Bath. Officer Flynn is modeling the plate carrier, doing an excellent job of it. Officer Bath down at the end there, he's wearing what we began fielding here are our external carriers. Both sets of equipment here will accept the ballistic plate. We have front and back, and on the plate carrier, the outer carrier down there at the end, that will also accept plates in the front and rear, because we never know really where all the threats are, obviously. We can't really give out the specifics on what this armor is capable of defeating. The reason we got it, it's definitely more capable than the standard body armor, the soft body armor worn by our officers on the street. Are there any questions? No? Officer Bath, you want to demonstrate how to insert this in your outer carrier for these folks? As you can see here, this is the vest he wears every day on the street. This ballistic plate here slides right in. Velcros up. And then he simply refolds the vest, tucks it in there, and can zip it up. And he's much better protected than he was without it. I think the helmets are somewhat self-explanatory. Again, without getting into the ballistic capabilities of it, everybody's talking about the demilitarization of the police. I realize this looks somewhat militant, but again, we're adapting to the environment that we're in. And this is allowing us to provide better protection for the people of Harrisburg. It keeps us safer longer and lets us do our job more effectively. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. So that concludes our official remarks for today. We can take questions if you have any, or if it's preferred, we can do one-on-one interviews. But I just want to thank the mayor again and the Harrisburg Police Department, and of course our emergency department nurses for this special, unique relationship. And I just hope that it does its job, and that it's good to know you have it, but that you don't really actually need it. Would be nice. But we're pleased that we could offer this to you and help to keep you safe. So, thank you.
for the police, when would you envision using these? Would these be an everyday thing or only in special situations?
So pretty much the thought process of how this works, and just alluded to, is that it's equipment that we would have that we would hope we would never need. So how we would field these is an officer would come into the shift, they would draw the equipment. Pretty much how that works for us now, when an officer starts a shift, when they're done with roll call, they draw their equipment that they need for the day. This would be an additional piece of equipment that would remain in the vehicle. It would be very hard for an officer to wear this type of equipment all day, 8-hour shift, and move about. When we get done with this, we'll allow a few of you to come up and try it on. It's extremely heavy, extremely heavy. So just common sense piece of it is that it would sit in the vehicle. If an officer is dispatched to a threat that we know, let's say an active shooter scenario or something where we know there's active gunfire going on, the officers would arrive at scene, pop the trunks, throw that on real quick, and then engage. That's how we envision using this, but to believe that we would just drive around in cars with this extra equipment on, that's not going to happen. Any other questions?
Is this addition to similar equipment that you already have, or this is?
So all officers now wear soft armor, which is what we call, or refer to in the public as bulletproof vests. We consider it soft armor because it's pliable. You put it on, most of the time you can't see it underneath the officer's gear. This would go over top of that for the additional benefit. It wouldn't be that we would take one off and put one on. This would go on over top of, or as in Officer Bass' case, we would slide it into his soft armor. That's considered his soft armor, which is what he's wearing now. There's ballistic capability of what he's wearing now. This just increases it to a higher threat level when you get into like rifles and higher caliber weapons.
Does this replace gear you currently have, or is this supplemental?
We do not have ballistic capabilities. There are a few officers assigned to different specialties that wear ballistic armor, but there was, previous to now, there were no ballistic armor that we had. We now have enough to field our officers that are working.
Okay, so you think that this is sufficient for your needs currently?
Well, we could always do better. So right now we have enough to keep us into the game. So if something were to happen, we have enough for officers working that we would be able to successfully provide an extra level of protection. But obviously, as the years go on, we would like to increase it so that we would have enough to field one for every officer. Right now, it's kind of you draw it as you go out on the street.
And I have a question for Kelly. So you, the 5K raised $20,000, is that correct? But there was an additional donation from the foundation. Do you know how
Yes.
much in total went to the purchase the equipment?
I believe you matched it.
I believe it was actually 15,000, so total would be 30, well, it was more than 20, so I don't know the but it would be more than 35,000. Then in addition, the Body Armor Megastore donated an additional 10, so in total, as far as the final invoice number, I'm not quite clear. It was over 40? So in total, the total cost of the equipment was over $40,000.
Are there other municipal police forces that have this? Maybe other than state police, but municipal police that have these around here that you know of?
I don't speak for other departments. I wouldn't dare do that. But what they have is what they have. I'm not familiar with what their equipment needs are. I know like our crisis response team, that's the standard issue for the crisis response team. They all have ballistic capabilities in there. But individual departments, I wouldn't be able to answer that for them. I don't think that's fair for me to say something yes or no.